Good day and welcome to the show. Soul Covers here. It is Monday, 28th of May. May is almost over, and would you have a look at that? We are up money for May. It has been a horrible month where we've been down bad. There have been times where we've been down bad, but we are now up 3.3 units for May. Let's close this out. Let's close this month out up money. That's all I'm hoping for. Just close the month out, have a winning month. That's all we're looking for. Looking back, 2-0 day yesterday. We cashed big on the Pacers in game four. Love that bounce back spot for them. 4 units down. We could have gotten a -2 on that, but 2.5 was fine. We closed ahead of the market on that. That game closed at 3, just like I said as well. If you were watching the show yesterday, I told you guys that this game's going to close at 3. Just watch. We also cashed on the Dallas Wings covering against the Connecticut Sun. Paige Becker's homecoming. She had a great game. Her best game as a rookie. Another plus CLV ticket. That spread closed at 4.5. Now we will look at the 2 game 5s in the conference finals. We have one position down at the moment, and we also have a WNBA play. All of our positions are ahead of the market. That's what you'd love to see. So let's have a look. Make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Nope, not there. There we go. Minnesota, OKC. Minnesota OKC game 5. Looking back at game 4, Minnesota needed to win that game. Like they blew game 4. There's no question about it. They blew game 4. Like you get a bad Ant game, you get a bad Julius Randle game, and you get all the role players stepping up. You get all the role players stepping up. You get Nikhil Alexander Walker 5 threes. You get JD McDaniels great game. You get DiVincenzo 5 threes as well. Like the fact that they didn't win that game, that means this series is basically over. Looking at going into game 5 with OKC, we got this projection at OKC -9.5. This spread, it opened anywhere from 8 to 9.5. We saw DraftKings at 9.5. We saw FanDuel at 8. Could have gotten yourself a middle if you were there early. I was not. So we now see a consensus at 8.5. Looks like there's a bit of juice towards the Timberwolves. For me, like I've had a like these lines for this series have just been razor sharp. I haven't had a great feel for this. I mean, I'm glad that I sat out game 4 because I wanted the Thunder, but I didn't end up placing that bet, and that would have been annoying having the Thunder win by 2, taking an OKC -3. I know a lot of people want that, so look at this one. I got nothing on the spread in terms of the spot. So home favorites looking to close out their series in game 5. Uh, if you're looking past round 1 with like this big of a spread, they are 5 and 6. So not much there. I'd say like if I had to lean on a side, I would take the Timberwolves. Like this is just a lot of points for a team that isn't going to roll over, but my numbers have 9.5. I certainly don't want to be laying this many points against a Wolves team that has played really well these last 2 games. Now, OKC much better these playoffs at home versus on the road. So I'm sitting out on this spread. Looking at the total, we see it open at 220.5. I got it at 216. I think the only way you can look here is under. This series total is continued to rise game to game. Like we saw game 1 was around 215. Then no, we saw Games 1 and 2 both opened at 215, closed at 218. I think, yeah, anywhere from 219 to 220 seems as high as this total will go. I think any way you can look is only towards the under, but OKC certainly they score a lot better at home, and yeah, I got nothing on this game. No, not gonna hide from it. Not gonna just place a bet to place a bet. I haven't had a great feel for this series. As for the Eastern Conference Finals, that's another story. But as for this series and this game, I have got nothing. Next, we have the Pacers in New York. If you've been watching during these conference finals, we have just been smacking. We've been smacking the Pacers, man. Like any way we can, we've been smacking them. We cashed them on game 1, cashed in game 2, sat out game 3, cashed them on game 4. Now looking at game 5, back in New York, where we've got the Knicks favored by a point. We saw this spread open anywhere from 5.5 to 4. Now they've met in the middle at 5. I'm personally holding a Pacers plus 5.5. That is no longer available. Got that for 2 units. And then I've also got a Pacers money line at plus 186. Got that for 1 unit. In terms of the market, I think more of the market opened at around more of the market opened at that 4.5 range. I think the early direction has been towards the Knicks. I think most of the market was at like 4.5, and then most of the market has moved up to 5, whereas FanDuel, they were at 5.5 at open, and they moved back to 5. As for the sharp books, we see Bookmaker at -5, -115. So looks to be an early Knicks market, but this is the one series where I'm not too concerned about the market. I've been on the Pacers before the series. I've been on the Pacers game to game, and I'm going to continue to be on this team because I just think the market is wrong. Like I've got this Knicks -1. If I can get a dog 5.5 points, yes, absolutely. And I think the Pacers really found something in Game 4, just pushing the pace back up. Like the Game 4 pace was 102. That was the fastest pace in this series by far, and I think that was an adjustment because games 2 and 3 were both slower paces, around 92, 95 possessions in those games. So we like the paces here. Let's have a look at the best available line. I think 5 is the best line, which I would still take, and I would just split that position up, place some of it on the money line, some of it on the spread. I'm personally 2 units on the spread, 1 unit on the money line. This number here is actually not bad because you get the early payout as well if the Pacers go up 20. I do not mind that, especially in this series where especially in this series where there's just been so many blown 20-point leads. This is not a bad number whatsoever. Looking at the total, we've seen it open at 222.5. Not a whole lot of movement here on the total. I got this projected at 227, so I expect the Pacers to continue to push the pace, continue to play fast. I think the only way you can look in this game is to take the over, and that's something I might look at. I mean, we saw this. We've seen these totals go down and down. The first game opened around 227. Since it's just been bet down and down, I think this is as low as it will go, and you have to look towards the over. So that's all we've got so far. Pacers against the spread, Pacers money line. Split those two up as you can. Let's have a look at our best bets where we've got 3 of them. We also have a WNBA play. Make sure you go follow me on Twitter. I will be tweeting these out, and it is an Indiana special today. Look at all, we're on Pacers spread, Pacers money line, and then we're also on the Fever at the Mystics. But that Fever minus 2.5. Market consensus is now at 4.5. So that's a great ticket. Now, I know Caitlin Clark is out, but I'm starting to run some numbers on the WNBA. It's still a very small sample, but just like based off the first 5 games, this spread should be Fever -9. Now, it's 5 games, so I'm not like putting too much into it, and that assumes Caitlin Clark is in. But like the Fever, like they're what, like 3-2 or 2-2, like they haven't exactly been blowing the doors off teams lately. So getting a 2.5, even if you price Caitlin Clark as being worth 5 points to a spread, that gets you to 4. So yeah, we picked up a 2.5. We saw that the main angle there was like I see a 2.5 when the rest of the markets just moved to 3. I'll pick that up every single time. Don't even tell me who's playing. Just tell me that market information, and I will go and bet it. In terms of what you can do now, I definitely reckon the Pacers money line, Pacers spread is still playable. In terms of taking the Fever now at -4, -4.5, I'll leave that with you. I'm sitting very well with this 2.5. Let's keep this stretch going. Like, let's make sure we finish the month up money. That's all we can ask for. Until next time, let's get them books salty.